Unfortunately, right before Yontif began, right before Shabbos came in, on Erev Shabbos, Uncle Benny died. My uncle, Benjamin Yechiel Ben David, not a Kohen. Uncle Benny was the last of the generation of my grandparents. He was my he was my mother's uh, surviving younger brother. He came to Israel back when it wasn't cool, back when it was still in the pioneering spirit. He used to travel a lot, and he made Aliyah on a permanent basis decades ago. It was quite interesting. I guess he was a founding member, it could be mistaken, of the Yishuv of Tzufim. At the time, my grandfather was very excited about that, and he provided them with the Sefer Torah. My grandfather found Sefer Torah, Holocaust survivor to Sefer Torah like himself, and he had it refurbished. Remember, this is the first time I had any experience with the Sefer Torah or even hearing about the Holocaust. Today was Holocaust Day. And it was on Holocaust Day, I think, when I first heard speeches about this Sefer Torah being a survivor and all sorts of horrors and atrocities of the Holocaust, and how the Sefer is now going to be the Sefer to be used in their synagogue in the Yishuv. A few years later, it started having kashrus issues. It is quite old. It's now in our care, and it's the one that we use on the holidays and very special Shabbatot. If you've seen it, it's quite ancient. It's not like the other Sefer Torah. So that was Uncle Benny. Uncle Benny used to live in Montreal, and he had a very interesting set of friends. He was good friends with the late Rabbi Meir Kahane, and I guess involved in early Jewish Defense League activities, because back in the day, like his daughter said, if people are picking on the Jews and the government didn't do anything about it, you got to take matters into your own hands. Self-defense isn't a right according to the Torah, it's an obligation. And defending other Jews is not an optional mitzvah, it's a sacred obligation. I remember a few years ago, I was listening to some Carlebach music at my parents' house. I was a young man, and my grandparents were there in the living room, what they call salon here in Hebrew. Listening to the music was very relaxing, and they started dozing off on the couches. And my grandmother said, it's Shlomo's music. Now, my age, you say it's Carlebach music. We don't know him personally. It's his last name. That's what we refer to it as. But she referred to him by his first name, as though she was on a first name basis with him, which didn't quite make sense to me at the time, until after she passed away, I found out that Uncle Benny was good friends with Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach. And Carlebach had a friend in every major city where he would tour. So when he would go to Montreal, he would stay at Uncle Benny's place. So that was his friend in Montreal before giving the concert. They even said that one Motzei Shabbos, Carlebach was very late for his concert because he fell asleep telling the Chama a bedtime story, putting her to sleep at my uncle's house. So he got stuck there. You could ask maybe, sorry, not Nechama, Neshama Carlebach, his daughter Neshama. So you could go, I guess, if you could find her, ask her if the story is true. If she remembers, making her father late for that concert there. And my uncle was also very blunt, very forward, always expressed his opinion in the sharpest way possible. He also had very good foresight. I remember at a particular wedding I went to, he found me, he said, I give it 4 months. He was spot on. That's how he greeted me. And his very quick and correct assessments of most situations were quite well known. So his memory should also be for a blessing. Like I said, he's the last of the generation. And it's very sorry. It's a good thing we still remember them. Even though I lost my grandfather now, almost 19 years ago or so, still feel like he's still around. Thank God. We'll still continue doing things the way he wanted it.